1, 2, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So again, hello everyone and welcome to the session 4 on research assessment and peer review at the OPERAS conference. Today we have 5 speakers who will discuss some really important topics related to research assessment, peer review and open scholarly communication. We'll be exploring things like language biases in research assessment, adopting new and better ways to measure research impact, and recognizing the diverse outputs of our research efforts. I encourage you, of course, to actively participate in the discussion and ask a lot of questions. So let me introduce our first speaker is Erzsébet Czifra. And according to Erzsébet's Twitter account or X account, she is a linguist, agent, experiencer, head of program at CoARA assessment, strongly committed to democracy and equity in science. But more serious, she received her PhD in cultural linguistics at Eötvös-Loránd University for her corpus study of the evolution of certain Hungarian word formation schemata. After graduating, she has been teaching linguistics at Hungarian and foreign language at the Eötvös-Loránd University, as well as at the Fachhochschule Burgenland in Eisenstadt, Austria. Her commitment to democracy in science led her to join Science Open Research Evaluation and Discovery Platform as a content integration manager and open science advocate. Erzsébet started her job as an open science officer at DARIA EU in March 2018, and she was responsible for fostering and implementing open science practices across DARIA and its cooperating partner. Last year, she is working at CoARA, where she is a CoARA program manager. Her talk will be about how CoARA sets forth a common path for reforming research evaluation while upholding organizational autonomy across Europe and globally. Please, Erzsébet.
I have to start with this one. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Can you? Yes, good. Thanks a lot for this lovely introduction. Jadranka, I think you revealed dirty secrets from my CV that probably not everybody were aware. But on the other hand, I feel really like I'm returning to friends. So hello everyone and welcome back, I would say. Let's jump right in the middle of it. I know that after the lunch break, it's not the most popular time slot for any conference, but we try our best to keep you entertained. So, having said that, just try to navigate my slides. What? Do we have a pointer maybe? Yeah, okay. So I won't go into absolute beginner level introduction to CoARA because I think all of you heard the wonderful introduction of Lydia Borrell-Damian, CoARA steering board member, into what is CoARA and what is the raison d'être. So I won't repeat that and we won't zoom into the commitments. But still, let me take you to a bit of what is now CoARA history, I would say. And what is important to highlight from this, as you can see, rather short timeline, is that CoARA is stemming from an incredible momentum of more than 300 universities, academies, research funders, infrastructure providers who came together and agreed that there is an urgent need to rethink what we value when we assess researchers, when we assess research institutions, when we assess research projects, and the like. So there was this shared frustration with the current research assessment systems, and there was consensus on that. But as you know, the really difficult question is, what should we replace the current problematic proxies for? So to give a shared direction to that, in the summer of 2022, after a long iterative consultation, the agreement for the reform of research assessment document, serving as a constitution of CoARA, had been published. But it was also clear that in order to make it happen, and in order to really bring a systemic change in research assessment globally, there is a coalition approach needed. A coalition where parties with as equitable possibilities to participate as possible. Let's say no membership fees. So in December 22, CoARA had been constituted, the Coalition for the Advancement of Research Assessment, and fast forward where we are today, this is what we are going to zoom in this short presentation. Importantly, it was very important from the inception of CoARA that to avoid becoming yet another declaration. That is, it was super important to create something concrete, practical, and action-oriented with agreed timeframes. Signatories of the agreement commit to bring back the 10 CoARA commitments that Lydia presented in the morning and implement them within their own organization and report or share the progress on that via publishing an action plan for in 1 year or for early signatories in 1.5 years from signing the agreement. Here you can see a bit of social life of action planning. More on that later. So signatories of CoARA express public endorsement to the coalition, and also they commit to put an action plan in place. But it was also clear that there is a great deal for knowledge sharing and building functional close-knit communities around the reform, and this is CoARA. So those who are members of the coalition, those organizations and the affiliated individuals, of course, can participate in knowledge sharing platforms of CoARA, national chapters, working groups, and other knowledge sharing mechanisms. And here you can see relatively new membership data, and what the diagram tells you is that the reform is really in the hands of the community, in the hands of those academic, scholarly research actors who are primarily affected by the change. You can see the membership broken down to countries. And this is a bit more telling visualization of the same information. You can see that CoARA is currently still EU dominant, but we managed to deliver the target of, by the end of the first year of CoARA's operation, to have members from each continent, which is now happening. So you might ask, who is CoARA? And the short answer is this one and this one. And this one. But zooming in, I also wanted to tell you a little bit about the social life of CoARA, because this was something Lydia didn't touch upon in the morning. So the highest decision-making body of CoARA is the General Assembly, that is member organizations, who elect the steering board, CoARA steering board, who is in charge of the strategic oversight of and general steering of the coalition. And last but not least, we have the CoARA Secretariat, who ensures the smooth operation of CoARA and coordinates the CoARA Boost projects and also nurtures the CoARA communities. So here's a look at the steering board. If you browse through the pictures, you can see some familiar faces, I would say. What is an important ongoing line of action, just coming back to the morning discussion, is that we are working towards reflecting the geographical diversity of the coalition a little bit more accurately in the CoARA governance. So it's ongoing work to make sure that with the next steering board elections happening in December 2024, we will have geographical balancing mechanisms in place. You can see here the CoARA working groups again. I think in the context of the current panel, it's worth to highlight not only the current working group representatives, that is the rewards peer review working group and the multilingualism working group, but we also have a relatively new one dedicated to social sciences and humanities, just on the bottom, below the picture, led by Iesh and Gabby Lombardo. So this might also be relevant to you. Lydia mentioned national chapters, so I decided not to replicate the map, but to show you a couple of highlights from ongoing work happening on national coordination. And as Elena said in the afternoon, it's indeed crucially important to foster these dynamics, like building critical masses of CoARA on the country level and enabling national chapter chairs to sit together from time to time and discuss how the country level implementation of CoARA goes in the world. Okay, so to finish with, I also wanted to give you a sneak peek into what you can expect from us in the coming weeks and months. And one of the key, I would say, overarching line of action, I call it from agreement to action. And so just next Monday, we are going to do a webinar around CoARA action plans. So if your organization is a signatory of the agreement or a CoARA member, and if you have any questions around this very new exercise of doing action plans, come to us on Monday, and we promise we will take up your questions and answer. And what is also, I think it's happening while I'm talking right now, on Monday we are going to open cascade funding for the implementation for organizations, single institutions, to implement the CoARA commitments in their own organization or pilot innovations or team up with others. More about this on Monday again, but just for you to know, if you visit the CoARA website, you will be able to take a sneak peek into that as well. I think my team at home in Strasbourg is very busy making the last touches on that right now. Okay, another important line of action, just a bit of an outlook, is what I call connecting the dots. That is, it's becoming a priority. So now in the first year of CoARA, we set up the operational basics, we set up working groups, national chapters, and like the basic rhythm of the coalition. Now the next challenge is how to make sure that all this populating work around CoARA, all this momentum is accessible for the different actor groups around CoARA, enabling working groups to be aware of each other's ongoing lines of work, to enable national chapters to be able to look over each other's shoulders, enable discourse on action plans, and most importantly, probably to enable all these different actor groups and their outputs, working groups, national chapters, individuals, organizations, to have a consolidated view of all these lines of ongoing work. We also meaningfully liaise with sister initiatives such as DORA. There is an ongoing line of exploring synergies with the EOSC and to further globalize the coalition. We also learn a lot from other global initiatives such as RDA in how they foster, how they nurture their communities, and we are learning by doing. So to finish with, I know that you may ask, okay, how can I engage with CoARA very concretely? Here are a few pointers to you. if you are a CoARA contact point or if you are involved in creating your organization's action plan, looking forward to see you on Monday. Members can obviously take part in the decision-making of CoARA. The next General Assembly is mid-June. We are very busy with the preparations of that. But on the individual level, if you are lucky enough to have be affiliated with the CoARA member organizations, we are looking forward to meeting you in working groups, in national chapters, in CoARA webinars, in other knowledge exchange mechanisms. Take a look at the Cascade funding later on, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Thank you, Erzsébet. So Erzsébet was on time, even you finished even earlier, so we have time for 1-2 of your questions, if you have some. No? Okay. Then I will introduce you our next speaker, Janne Pölönen. Janne is Secretary General for Publication Forum at Federation of Finnish Learned Societies. He's what is this list field? It's like a master or PhD, between master and PhD in history, specializing in ancient Roman law and society research. His recent work is in the field of scholarly communication, bibliometrics, research assessment, open science, and learned societies. He is also a member of Coalition for Advancing Research Assessment, CoARA, steering board, coordinator of CoARA Working Group on Multilingualism and Language Biases in Research Assessment, and co-coordinator of OPERAS Multilingualism Special Interest Group. Janne will discuss intended and unintended language biases and priorities in assessment, which are among the most important sources of global and socioeconomic inequality in science. And it's not a part of the bibliography, but Janne loves to fish, and he is also an expert in fishing. Please, Janne. I'm revealing people's secrets.
Thank you very much, Jadranka, for kind introduction. Hopefully I can invite you all someday to eat fish in Finland, freshwater fish. So I will give a presentation, hopefully within the time frame provided, of the work, focusing on the CoARA Working Group on Multilingualism and Language Biases in Research Assessment, of which I am happy to coordinate. So let's go straight at it. I knew that there was going to be a great presentation, keynote by Lydia in the morning, presenting the overall commitments and so forth of CoARA, and then Erzsébet was going to present the overall vision of CoARA, so I don't have to go to any CoARA details. So let's look at the commitments. So multilingualism or language bias or language issues are now recognized very well in CoARA, and I thank so much the drafting team and the community of CoARA for taking this issue seriously. So the first core commitment states in the scope that we have to recognize valuable contributions to science and for the benefit of society, irrespective of the language in which they are communicated. A third core commitment in the scope note says that inappropriate uses of journal and publication-based metrics include assessing outputs based on metrics relating to, for example, language. In the toolkit, it is mentioned that it is possible to address these issues for instance, in accordance with the Helsinki Initiative on Multilingualism in scholarly communication. And there you can see what Helsinki Initiative says about multilingualism in assessment context, emphasizing that it is not only a problem of metrics, it is also a problem and challenge for expert-based assessment. So here is an overview of the CoARA working group composition. So we have 39 members, about 70 individual experts. So I'm the coordinator, and then we have a great group of co-chairs, Emanuel Kulczyski, Monika Dietl, and Gian Maria Greco. So the working group mission is to support EU and other institutions in fulfilling their duty to enhance, promote, and uphold linguistic equity, diversity, and non-discrimination in Europe and globally. And this is grand, of course, but we refer to United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights that states that everyone has the right freely to share in scientific advancement and its benefits, and without distinction of any kind, including language. And also the Charter of Fundamental Rights of the EU places an obligation on Union to respect linguistic diversity and prohibits discrimination on grounds of language. So this is quite a mission. And also, the recently approved European Charter for Researchers repeats the non-discrimination aspect. Employers and funders of researchers should not discriminate against researchers in any way based on, including language. So what are the working group's main objectives? First, to raise awareness across all fields about the importance of multilingualism in practice of science, in scientific publications, and in academic communications. This is from the UNESCO recommendation on open science. And secondly, to provide institutions with guidelines, toolbox, and implementation proposal, how to address and deal with language-related issues. And we have organized our work in task forces, including Task Force 2 that is preparing a landscape analysis of multilingualism practices and also issues in assessment. And then we have Task Force 3 that is focusing on policy advice and implementation. And here are some challenges and potential impacts that I promised in the paper to address. So how can we promote international excellence that has been on the top of the agenda for the past decades, while at the same time ensure equity, diversity, and social interaction across STEM and SSH, including multilingually. How can we ensure, if there are no incentives or recognition for the researchers and everyone who works to produce and disseminate knowledge in different languages, the availability of high quality, diverse, locally relevant research and knowledge transfer beyond academia? That is really a challenge. How can we provide equal opportunities to researchers and institutions irrespective of research orientation, mission, or language competencies? And finally, of course, implementation of open science and responsible research and innovation policies to foster inclusive and diverse communities and interaction with society. So there are some challenges, but also potential impacts if we succeed in making better recognition for work in different languages. So